our orientation, and also some short overview about our subject. So, before that, kanang I've told you, I've required you a book, no, whether you borrow or you buy your own. Have you purchased your own book already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so nana mo on hand na book. Okay, that's good. Well, for those who don't have books yet, I have here a copy of, I've scanned the copy of the book in the library. Okay, and then I'm just going to post this one in our Google Classroom. Okay, for those who don't have book yet, so that you may have your own soft copy. Oh,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes, Mr. Dalumpin.
Dalupinas. Nag-meet na data pag dili siya first time na meet na to
Yeah,
or
last meeting, nag-meet na, but sorry. Kuan mo gud siya, sir. Siguro sa kuan ka, sir, no? Are you one of the BSRAM students?
no ma'am, BSBA.
Okay. So, for those kaning mga sa fundamentals and accounting na ako nga student, wala pa na ako tamo na meet. However, since
Okay.
this is a merged class, so there are some sections here nga na meet na nako previously.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, but ano to siya, orientation. That's why in your group chat, nag-send ko katong mga book ang gamiton, anak, kay mora po ito ang sulod sa mga orientation.
Sige, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so you're welcome. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. So, every now and then I may call somebody to answer, or if ever I'm going to ask a question, then you may answer. Okay, so since kuan man no kanang online class ta no, we have our activities ana. However, your participation, your oral recitation will have additional points, okay, on your part. No, para dili pod I've realized mga good nga although it is not attendance is not required, because of course there are those students who cannot attend due to the signal, no, module mostly, but there are a lot of students manggod nga wala nag-a-appeal, not because of their signal, but maybe because they just want to gusto lang nila nga ma-own nila ilang time, no? So that's why for those nga maka-attend and then of course mo participate, I'm going to give an incentive, no, para sa mga mo answer sa akong questions. Okay? So please pay attention. All right, so can you see my screen already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. So, if naamoy book, no, pwede ra mo refer sa inyong book. So, our first topic as a module sa data first, no. This is our first module, module 1, and this already includes the topics that we will discuss in our prelim period. Okay, our module 1 is entitled cash. And inside the module, you have there 3 topics: cash and cash equivalents, bank reconciliation, and proof of cash. Sa inyong libro, nagsunod rin ni sila ng mga topic. And these are the topics that we are going to cover for this prelim period. Take note, every after sa lesson na ay mga self-check. Okay? But so, kung ano na siya ka ng, pwede na mo mag-answer, and we are also going to answer that during our discussion. Pero kaning post-test, kamo na mismo ang ma-answer ani. Okay, this will serve as your quiz. And of course, practice na pod sa inyong part, no? Para sa to evaluate whether you already understood the topic or not. And of course, we also have references there. No, actually, daghan ng references, but you may refer to other books, but the one that we will use is this book, okay, the book of Valix. Okay,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes?
Ma'am, so bali katong self-check, ma'am, kay dili na to necessary nga pilon sa kuan, ma'am, sa post-test.
kanang unsa kanang i-submit ninyo?
Yes, ma'am. Kanang bali, apilon pa ang self-check. Ini ko, ma'am. Ini-submit na mo sa activity at ito lang post-test.
Dili na, ang post-test lang.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, ang post-test lang ha. Ako na siyang gibutang sa Google Classroom na please answer the post-test, blah, blah, blah. No? So, no need to answer the subject. Kita mag-answer na together sa to ang discussion. Okay, so, napawala yung pangutana before ta mag-start. Yes, wala na, no? And take note ha, there is a raise hand button if you have concerns, if you have questions, or if you want to answer my question, then you may just raise your hand. Okay, so this is our first lesson, cash and cash equivalents. So, unsa na yung cash and cash equivalents? Of course, we already know that is cash. However, cash equivalents, then since ang pangalan niya is cash equivalent, meaning dili siya cash. But in accounting, it is treated as cash. So, unsa din na aning intermediate accounting class? Diba? For those nga naka-attend sa akong orientation, diba, I have told you nga, in your basic accounting or katong particularly financial accounting and reporting, you have learned about the accounting cycle, no? Particularly the preparation of financial statements, where we prepare the different kinds of financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, no, statement of changes in equity, notes to financial statements, and sa panadira, no, and statement of cash flows. Now, take note, dirita focus sa balance sheet because here in the intermediate accounting, our focus is the account titles in the balance sheet. Di ba yung balance sheet na may tulo, the assets, liabilities, and equity. As I've said, in this subject, we are going to talk about the assets. So, sa gali sunod sa balance sheet, di ba, naman ang balance sheet? Sa balance sheet, you have there, let's say, ABC company, no? And then balance sheet, and then date. So, as of the date, blah, blah, blah. And the very first thing that you can see there is the assets. And then nakalista ang mga current assets and non-current assets. So, how are these assets being ordered, no? Yun sa siya pag-order is that random ba na siya nga sa isa ka company? Depende lang nila unsa ilang unahon. Gusto ba nila una ilang inventory? Okay lang. Una ang ilang investments, una ilang accounts receivable, depende nila ingana ba na siya? Or is that in alphabetical order? No? So, what do you think? Sige, magsugod pangutana. What do you think is the kuan? Okay, Miss Gabawan. Okay, so what do you think is
according to liquidity, ma'am?
Okay, yes, very good. That is according to liquidity. So the most liquid asset will be the very first line item. Okay? Nasa sa pinakauna nga line item. So unsa ka ang pinaka-liquid nga asset? So what do you mean by liquid?
Dali mahurot.
Miss Cervantes? May lista ha, Gabawan.
Dali mawala or magamit, ma'am?
Okay, dali mawala or dali magamit, no? So that means, you are able, meaning, dali ni mo siya dali ni mo siya ma-encash. Okay? Liquidity is the ability to convert assets into cash. So since to convert man into cash, so say pinaka-liquid, of course, that is the cash itself. No? Cash jud ang pinaka-liquid. That's why nana siya sa very first line item in our financial statement. So siguro no sa inyong hibaw-an sa financial accounting, kung ano na siya, cash on hand and then cash in bank. Pero kato siya basic na to siya, but the kuan jud niya ang iyaha yung name or sa line item jud niya, that is cash and cash equivalents. Okay, cash and cash equivalents. So followed by accounts receivable. So actually accounts receivable, ang name po na niya is trade and other receivables. But later na tamo talk about trade and other receivables. Kaya dito na po na siya sa midterm. Dili sa ta mag-focus sa cash and cash equivalents. So let's say, di ba, cash and cash equivalents, AR, inventory, unsa pa na dira. Now, in a financial statements class, since daghan man kayo ng cash, no? Dili man na katong cash on hand lang. Dili lang po na cash in bank lang. Daghan kayo types of cash. So it would be impractical if ilista na nato siya tanan, no? Sa ato ang balance sheet. No? Mapuno atong balance sheet, daghan kay ilista. That's why itapok na siya sa isa ka line item which we call as cash and cash equivalent. So hani makita ang breakdown. Of course, kinahanglanon gihapon na sa mga stakeholders, no? Kanang mga lantaw sa financial statements, kinahanglanon gihapon nila ang information kung unsay sulod anang cash and cash equivalents. That's why we have what we call the notes to financial statements. Okay? Sa notes to financial statements, diri na nakabutang ang breakdown, no? So let's say sa cash and cash equivalent sa balance sheet, ibutang man na dira nga na siya sa note 1, no? Para naiinhanan. Ang AR na siya sa note 2. Ang inventory na siya sa note 3. So, pagabot sa notes to financial statements, so note 1, na dayoy, cash and cash equivalents. So, unsay sulod anang cash and cash equivalents? So, diri nato na siya mahibaw-an sa ato ang chapter. Okay? So, basa-basa sa taning mga definition. So, may definition sa cash. Okay, so, in a point of view of a layman, no, so dili ka itong mga accounting experts, accounting students, no, dili ka itong mga business professionals, but cash, but in a layman, cash simply means money, no, di ba? Mga man po natin hibawaan before, no, when we say cash, then that is money. So, unsa may definition sa money? So, accordingly, it is a standard medium of exchange in business transactions. It refers to currency and coins which are in circulation and in general tender. Okay, so currency, katong tigmamiso, currency and coins, katong bills, no, paper bills. Then coins katong mga 1 peso, 5 peso, 10 pesos. No, mao na ato ang generally nahibawan nato nga unsa ang amo na ang money, which is generally atong nahibawan unsa ang cash. No, however, in accounting, okay, cash is broader. No, dili lang siya money, but it connotes more than money. So in accounting, cash includes money and atong padakuon ni. Wait lang, no. Wala ra nawala ako ang presentation class. Wala ra na ara. Ako natuplukan. Okay, so thank you. So, hanata, in accounting, cash includes money and any other negotiable instrument that is payable in money and acceptable by the bank for deposit and immediate credit. So, unsa di ang kuan, di ba? Nature sa cash is that the moment ibayad di mo siya, kanang matagaan na din ka sa item, considered as paid na siya. Unlike kung let's say, kung ang ibayad ni mo promissory note, considered as paid na baka, di ba, promissory note gali utang, no? So kung cash, considered as paid. How about check? Would we consider check as a cash?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Ma'am.
considered as a cash. Nga naman, di ba pag mubayad kag check sa isa ka establishment, considered as paid na ka, di na nautang because that establishment will now be the one to go to the bank and encash your check. And then, of course, kung nakay check, that means napog kay bank account, di ba? Kay pag i-encash na sa establishment dito sa bangko, then madidak na siya sa imuhang bank account, no? So, kanang check, that is an example of a negotiable instrument that is payable in money and acceptable by the bank for deposit and immediate credit. Okay, so pwede po niya, kung mag-deposit ang kwarta, check ato ang gamiton. And check is as good as cash. So, accordingly, ni siya, cash includes checks, bank drafts, and money orders because these are acceptable by the bank for deposit and immediate payment. Okay, so how about post-dated check? No, so yun ang post-dated check. Who can answer? Katong, especially katong wala pa naka-try. Okay, wait lang ha, di na ako makita. Okay, before that ni Miss Gabawan, is there any other who has any idea kung saan ang post-dated check? Ha? Wala? Okay, so let's have it again with Miss Gabawan.
It's a check that you issued for a certain date, ma'am. Like today is 22nd, but you will put January 30 or 31 that is post-dated checks.
Okay, very good. So thank you, Miss Gabawan. So post-dated check, no? From the word post, so meaning in advance pa ang iyang date. So if today is January 22, so the date could be tomorrow, January 23, or as Miss Gabawan said, January 30. So meaning at a future date pa. So what does it mean when we post date I check? So that means, Miss Gabawan, unsa may purpose anong mag-post date na og check?
Like mga, they use that one for security. Like magutang sila, they wanted to issue post-dated. So at the date nga maningil sila, ma'am, ma-encash na nila ang cash on that date.
Okay, so dira pa nga time ma-encash, no? Kung unsa nga date ang gibutang, dira pa nga time nga ma-encash. So, say for example, na ako i-purchase sa isa ka establishment, nag-issue ko og check karon, but the date is still January 30. So, would that establishment be able to encash my check already unyang hapon, no? This afternoon? Or as in karon na jong the moment yung nagbayad ko niya, pwede na ba na siya diretso mo adto sa bank para mag-encash diretso?
No, ma'am.
Diba? Dili pa. Because the date is still
Future dated.
January, yes, future data, January 30 pa. So that means January 30 pa ma-encash. Now, nasunod ba siya sa definition nga that is a negotiable instrument that is acceptable for immediate credit?
No,
Diba?
ma'am.
No, wala. So, dili siya ma-credit dayon. Dili siya ma-encash dayon. Therefore, post-dated checks are not considered as cash. Okay? So, even though ka nang mag-deposit ka sa bangko, no, dili pa na siya i-credit unless moabot ang date kung kanus siya naka-date. No? Unsa nga date ang nakabutang. So, that is post-dated check. Okay, so we have unrestricted cash. So what is unrestricted cash? There's no specific standard dealing with cash. Okay, the only guidance is found in PES 1, paragraph 66, which provides that an entity shall classify an asset as current when the asset is cash or a cash equivalent unless it is restricted from being exchanged or used to settle a liability for at least 12 months after the end of the reporting period. So actually, class, kanang atong mga account titles na nasa specific na standard, no? Accounts receivable na nasa iyang standard, investments, inventory na nasa mga standards. So what I mean is that in the Philippine Accounting Standards or in the PFRS or Philippine Financial Reporting Standards, na sila specific nga number dito, no? Na sila specific nga chapter ba na. However, kaning cash, no? Wala siya PAS, wala siya PFRS. Pero naalang siya diri, naka-state lang siya sa PAS 1, paragraph 66. When do we consider an asset as a cash? Or when do we consider an asset as current? So, giingon na dito nga, mo consider ta, mo classify ta sa asset as a current, di ba? Duha man na current asset and non-current asset. So, matawag siya nga current, first, if that is cash or cash equivalent. Okay? So, cash or cash equivalent unless it is restricted from being exchanged or used to settle a liability for at least 12 months after the reporting period. So, di ba, nature sa cash, unrestricted siya, meaning acceptable na siya diretsyo, no? Or kung check man gali na, pwede siya for outright encashment or immediate credit. Now, what about if ang cash is naka-restrict? O, let's say, nag-deposit ka sa bangko, pero dili pa nimo siya ma-withdraw for, let's say, 6 months, no? consider ba na siya as part sa cash? According to PS1 paragraph 66, considered paghihapon. Because, ang nakabutang man diri, if that is cash, of course, kanang bank deposit, cash na siya. No, that is cash in bank. Unless it is restricted from being exchanged for at least 12 months. Okay? So, although restricted siya, pero wala man naabot og 12 months. So, part lang gihapon siya sa cash. Now, how about if dili nimo siya makuha for, let's say, more than 12 months? Let's say, dili nimo siya makuha for nag-deposit ka, and then ma-withdraw ra nimo siya after 18 months. So that is 1 year and 6 months. So by that time, yes, it is cash. Yes, it is cash in bank. However, dili nimo na siya i-appeal sa cash. Why? Because it is now restricted. Okay? Restricted siya for at least 12 months. Okay? So later on, natin mga other examples, Ana, and then during our exercises, activities, maka-encounter tayo ng mga problem in which dili na to i-include ang mga cash nga restricted for a particular purpose for more than 12 months. Okay? So, to be reported as cash, it must be unrestricted in use. Pero katong paan class, 6 months lang, pwede ra to siya. Basta cash, no? Cash, and then, dili na mo siya ma-withdraw for 6 months, okay ra. No? Basta cash. Pero 12 months na, no? More than 12 months rather, more than 12 months na, 12 months dahil. Kung 12 months na, so dili na siya ma-consider as cash. Okay, so unsa may mga included sa cash? Natay tulo. So cash pataha duha man ni cash, then cash equivalent. So cash sata. So sa cash na itulo, cash on hand, cash in bank, and cash fund. Now, who can give me an example of these three? Pwede tulo. Unahon sa nato ang cash on hand. Who can give me the definition or an example of cash on hand?
Try daw ko, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Laban.
For me, ma'am, ang cash on hand kay cash, ma'am, nga naana sa imuha mismo, ma'am.
Okay, na. Does it necessarily mean na gigunitan nimo sa imong account labang?
Dili, ma'am.
Dili. Kanang as in cash on hand. So on hand good. So dapat ba jud nga naggunit-gunit jud ka ana nga cash?
Ay, dili pod, ma'am.
Dili ra po. Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Labang. So, cash on hand, no? Basta naa lang siya sa imuha. So, let's say, kung nakay tindahan, kanang naa sa imuhang hunos, no? Mao na siya cash on hand. How about cash in bank?
Try ko, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. General.
Siguro, ma'am, kay kung ang cash on hand, ma'am, nasa imong kamot, siguro ang cash in bank is those cash nga naa sa bangko, ma'am. Like, nagkuan ka, ma'am, mga cheque or
Okay.
nag-deposit ka cash.
Okay. Okay, so very good. So, katong naa sa bangko, meaning, gideposit nimo sa bangko. So, Mr. General, can you, do you know any example or type of bank account? So, may mga
Yes,
type
ma'am.
of account. So, can you give me an example?
Kanang prepaid nga kuan, ma'am, account. For example, ma'am, sa amo, ma'am, kay nag-open mig account for just savings lang, ma'am. So, savings account lang siya, ma'am, for students. Whereas savings account, according to the kuan, ma'am, kato nagtrabaho sa bangko is ang maximum ra niya nga cash nga mabutang nga ma-stay sa imong account is 100,000.
Okay, so that is savings account. So, naidaghan nga savings account no, na ay maximum of 100,000, na po'y kanang walay limit, no? Okay, so different types of bank accounts. So, how about Miss Gabawan? You raised your hand. So, do you have any other example?
Sa types of account, ma'am,
Yes.
savings, current, and check and deposit US dollar account.
Okay, so na mga savings account, current account, checking account, and katong US dollar or foreign currency account. Okay, so those are the examples of bank accounts, and they are considered as cash in bank. All right, so not sa ikatulo ta. So we have cash on hand, cash in bank, and ikatulo, sa ikatulo.
Cash fund, ma'am.
Okay, cash fund. So, who can give me an example of a cash fund? How about the others?
Hello, ma'am.
Mr. Alfred.
Mag-try ko, ma'am. Kanang cash fund kay more sa pwede siya na example anak kay kanang mura backup nga money for sa mga gagmay nga mga butang, for example mga office supplies, mga decorations may nana, ma'am.
Okay,
Cash
so,
fund.
what do you think is the specific term for that? No, cash fund para sa mga gagmay nga butang. What do you think is the specific term for that?
Petty
Petty
cash.
Petty
Okay,
cash.
that is the petty cash fund. Okay, very good. So petty cash fund, those that are set aside to pay petty or small expenses. So there are other students who also have given their answers. So from Miss Borromeo, accordingly, cash fund for the payment of wages. Okay, so napunta, that is what we call the payroll fund. No? Intended siya specifically to pay wages to the employees. Okay, petty cash fund. And then we also have tax fund and travel funds. Payroll fund. Okay, so very good. Thank you for the answers. So, ako ang ilista ang mga nag-participate. Okay, so may purpose ng cash fund. So, it is a fund because it is set aside for a specific purpose, no? No, does it mean mga ma'am, restricted na siya ma'am, dili na siya pwede i-appeal sa ato ang cash because it is now restricted for a specific purpose. So, balik ka sa atong ganyan okay ra siya if the liability is not to be paid for at least 12 months. So, kung below 12 months, part ra gihapon siya sa cash. So pareha atong petty cash fund. So may purpose sa petty cash fund to pay petty or small expenses. Because naman gud gitawag class nga impressed fund system. So sa man impressed fund system. So that is tanang collections, all collections will be directly deposited to the bank and all payments will be in the form of check. Kana siya for security purposes para si cashier dili siya magdala-dala og dagko kayong kwarta nga susceptible kaayo sa kuan. Let's say susceptible siya sa theft, no? Basta dagko kayong kwarta ang gihawiran. So impressed fund system, if ever na yung mga deposits, let's say sa Columban, no? Kunting bayad na, so dako jud kaayo ng cash on hand nga naa ni cashier. So that's why every afternoon moabot ang bangko, no, para i-collect tong mga collection sa school at that moment, no, at that day, no, kay para impressed fund system, all collections will be deposited to the bank. Now, how about, ma'am, kung naay kuan, naay baryunon ang school, what if naasa yung mga pamaliton ng mga, let's say, mga furnitures, no? Saan man na, ma'am, nagipang deposit naman ta ng kwarta. So, all payments will also be in the form of checks. Okay, so muna siya, through checks na lang ang pagbayad. Okay, before ang mga sweldo is through check, no? Through check. Pero karon nanapud tay payroll fund. Okay? So, ma'am, payroll fund naka-restrict. But take note, that is restricted for the payment of wages. Kano sa man di bayaran ang wages, di ba? Every 15th of the month, every 30th of the month naman. So, wala pa kaabot ang 1 month, kuan na siya. Ato na nang i-disburse ang payroll fund. So considered gahapon siya as cash, no? That is for the payment of wages. So pa may lain dire, tax fund. Okay, tax is paid every year. So that is still considered as current, and also travel fund. Okay, so these are current assets as part of cash. Okay, cash fund, take note, it must be set aside for current purposes. Okay, dividend fund, yes, dividends are to be paid every year. Okay, every year na siya ginabayara. Legally, every year, there are companies who pay dividends quarterly. So every quarter, magbayad sila. So still, current purposes. Okay? So, sa mga example na ng non-current purposes, let's say, nag-loan ka, let's say, or nangutang ka through bonds. When we say bonds payable, dako kay na siya nga utang, so that is to be paid mga, let's say, 3 years. No? 3 years siya bayaran. Now, of course, to be sure nga at that time, na kay kwarta, so mag-set aside ka og cash for the purpose of paying that bond. Now, take note of the purpose. That is for the purpose of paying a liability that is due for more than 12 months. Kay 3 years good. So, in that case, it will not be considered as part of cash because the purpose is non-current, 3 years. So, dili siya i-appeal sa cash fund. So, unsa ra i-appeal sa cash fund? Katurang for current purposes. Now, haman siya ibutang. Ma'am, dili man i-appeal sa cash. So, haman na ibutang. Dili na na-record, ma'am. No? What do you think? Haka na ibutang. Kanang cash fund set aside for the payment of a liability that is due for 3 years pa. No, dili siya appeal sa cash and cash equivalents. No, wa siya ilabot diri. But since the purpose of it is to pay a non-current asset, so dito po na siya sa non-current liability, so dito po na siya sa non-current asset. Okay, so that is for the cash fund. Okay, so mo to siya ang cash ha, cash on hand, cash in bank, and cash fund. So we have cash equivalents. So unsa man ang cash equivalents? So cash equivalents are not cash. Okay? So cash equivalents are short-term and highly liquid investments that are readily convertible into cash, and so near their maturity that they present insignificant risk of changes in value because of changes in interest rates. Okay, so they are not cash. They are investments that are only short-term, that are highly liquid, and dali ra ang ilahang maturity. Dali investment siya, pero dali ra nimo sila makuha. Okay? Now, cash equivalent. Now, my question is a check a cash equivalent? Check. Cash or cash equivalent ang check? Pakita na ko ang definition. Check. Kanang check is that a cash or cash equivalent? Asa na idea? Miss Lalaine.
Cash equivalent, ma'am.
Cash equivalent. Why do you say so, Miss Lalaine?
Because it is a short term.
Short term?
It is a short term and highly liquid investments.
Okay, so short-term highly liquid investment is check not a cash?
For me, ma'am, cash.
Ako ilay nag-ingon. So, kanina ba?
Kay,
Very good. cash. Okay. Cash equivalent deposit normally siguro ayan ni sa imong purpose. For example, so pag mo na nimo you have chip. So, amo na term so liquid nimo mak term cash 100 na siyang tig 5 years. So, we're kaning for the 9 months time. So that months for example, yes. Mura gyapon ni siya invest na ni we have year gihapon long as pag years is say 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 3-month treasury good. Is one maturity date 1 March 1. January 1. We also have the and
Kasi ma'am,
yes,
dili man na siya mansi January 1 man January 1 so ang 1.
yan siya. You're going to look at January 1 to tuloy na months na siya. So, well, siya, we started on to March in of the maturity date mo siya January 1. January 1, kung tayo gitawag na, ang hindi mo siya months. Let's say for example, um, January 1, 2018.
Ma'am.
Oh, why?
2018 pa man gyapon nimo siya gi-purchase, so 3 years pa gyapon niya mature.
Okay, so 3 years. About her.
Pwede ni ma'am cash equivalent na.
Okay, pwede na. So if you're going to count, or regardless of the term, regardless kung originally that is 3 years, pero gi-acquire niyo siya October 1. Let's count. Starting from October 1, so we start the 30th day on November 1. So November 1, December 1, January 1. So sunod siya sa 3-month rule. Okay? How about this? I-purchase siya November 1, 2020.
Equivalent gyapon.
Ilang ka years? Ilang ka years?
2.
Okay, that is 2. So, ang taon na to, ang first example, 3 years. No? Ang second example, so 3 years, so X. No? Ang second example, 3 months, so cash equivalent na. Labaw na ang third example, 2 months lang. So that is cash equivalent. So take note ha, lahi ang date jud sa bill, lahi ang date of purchase, lahi ang maturity date. You start counting on the date of acquisition. Okay? So class, there is a 3-month treasury bill. Dili na necessary identify ang date of purchase. Okay, sure naman na nga within 3 months jud na kay term pa lang daan, 3 months na. So, pwede nga na-acquire mo siya, pwede 3 months before the maturity, pwede 2 months before maturity, pwede 1 month before maturity. So, no problem as to the acquisition kung 3 months lang ang iyang term. Pero kung more than 3 months na, that is the time that you are then going to identify kung kanus-an mo siya gi-purchase. Okay? So, that is for the treasury. Okay, so for the others, do not hesitate to participate. I'm still giving points to those who participate, even though the answer may be correct or wrong, or half correct, half not correct. No? So, okay ra na siya, so long as you participate. Okay, so let's proceed then. So, naay 3-month time deposit. Okay? 3-month money market instrument or commercial paper. So, class, time deposit, actually, time deposit is bank deposit. No? Pero, why is not considered as a cash in bank? It's because ang time deposit, that is a deposit that you cannot withdraw anytime. Okay? You cannot withdraw anytime. So, naay time deposit nga 3 months, naay 6 months, naay 12 months. So, of course, class, since mga investments man ni sila, so na-dyan ni sila dividends or na-dyan ni sila interest. Galing lang, since dali na kayo ni mo siya makuha balik, so they only present insignificant risk of changes in value. So, kung na magaling interest, gamay ra pud kaayo. No? It's because gamay ra man ang iyahang term, no? 3 months lang. So, pag time deposit, let's say, ang time deposit, kung 3-month time deposit, kung mag-deposit ka karon, hindi na nimo ma-withdraw ugma, ulat pa ka og 3 months. Time deposit. That is a type of bank account that earns interest. Okay, so 3-month time deposit, kung 3 months siya, or 2 months, or 1 month lang na time deposit, then yes, sulod siya sa cash equivalent. Okay, o how about 4 months na? 4-month time deposit. Sulod ba? O 3-month rule. Dili na siya sulod sa ato ang cash equivalent. Naman na siya mabutang, ma'am. These are investments. So isagol po nato na siya sa ato ang account sa investment. Okay? Originally, these are investments, John, but due to them being highly liquid, that's why gibutang sila sa cash equivalent. Okay, so just remember the 3-month rule. Okay, equity securities cannot qualify as cash equivalents because shares do not have a maturity date. Okay, so kaniha, investments, these are investments in treasury bill. Okay, treasury bill. Time deposit, money market instrument, or commercial paper. But take note that these are not investment in stocks. Okay? Dili ni siya katong mga shares nga palito na to sa mga company, no? That is what we call the equity securities. Dili ha, these are treasury bills, katong sa BSP, time deposit, kanang sa bangko, no? Money market instrument, mura po ni siya og kanang treasury bill, pero actually karon yung mga time, wala na kayo ni siya. That's why we're not really familiar with money market. Okay? So equity securities, they do not qualify as cash equivalent because shares do not have maturity. So kung mo-invest ka sa Jollibee, mo-invest ka sa SM, there is no specific maturity date. Okay, however, so di ba class, kanang shares, duha man na. We have the ordinary shares and preference shares. But preference shares, there are different types of shares. There are different types of preference shares. Na natin gitawag nga redeemable preference shares. Okay, redeemable preference shares. So when we say redeemable preference shares, na siya'y maturity date. Diba the reason why equity securities are not considered as cash equivalents because they do not have maturity date. Pero, pag redeemable preference shares, okay, so para klaro ang kung kanhabutan ako diri, redeemable, take note of this, redeemable preference shares are shares that have a specified redemption date. And they are acquired 3 months before that redemption date. So they can be classified as cash equivalent. Okay? Kana lang ha, redeemable preference shares. Other types of preference shares, dili na siya cash equivalent. Equity securities in general, dili na siya cash equivalent. Okay? So, daghan mo mali ani, no? Kaning redeemable preference share. So, you take note of that. Okay? So, what is important is the date of purchase. It should be 3 months or less before maturity, regardless of that term. Okay? So, what is the measurement of cash? Unsa man din measurement sa cash? Of course, that is at face value. So, kung ang imong kwarta dira 100 ra, ang lista ra pod nimo 100. Dili na ka pila na may fair value ani akong 100 nga bago-bago para ba ni. Kumot na ra ba ni, no? Dili siya pareho anang mga land, building. Walay face value, no? Kung walantaw ka sa isa ka land, abay nakabutang nga value ana, di ba wala, no? Kinahanglan pa siya og kanang assessor, no? Para assess sa value sa land or sa mga real property. Here, even ka ng mga furnitures, wala na sila face value. But cash, na siya face value. So, whatever is the value in the face of the cash, bahalag daan pa na nga 1,000 or bago nga 1,000, that is still 1,000. Okay? So, how about cash in foreign currency? Now, di ba, take note about the principle. Actually, I forgot what type of principle. Unsa to siya nga principle sa financial accounting. But we are to record our financial statements in peso. Okay, in peso. Now, how about imong investment imong deposit is a foreign currency, no? Or imong cash is dollar. No, will you put dollar in your financial statement? No. Okay, so it will be measured at its current exchange rate. Okay, current exchange rate. Maglilahi na ba ng exchange rate kada adlaw? So, di na to siya i-tackle diri. Dito pa na siya sa higher accounting. Okay? Now, class, take note also of this. If a bank or financial institution is in bankruptcy or financial difficulty, cash should be written down to estimated realizable value. So, di ba? Dili man jud nato matag na nga hala ko lang po ato ang gidepositan og cash kay na bankrupt, no? So of course, kung normal lang ang bank, wala siya na bankrupt. So kung na kay 100,000 dira, ilista pud nimo na 100,000. Pero if the bank or the financial institution in which you deposited your cash bankruptcy na siya, so there is really a possibility nga dili na nimo makuha imuhang tibuok 100,000. So let's say accordingly imong 100,000 makuha na lang is 60,000 na lang. So you will not anymore record 100,000 but instead you record 60,000. Okay, because that is already there. It's realizable value, the amount nga makuha nimo imuhang kwarta. Okay? So, financial statement presentation, first item among the current assets under the caption cash and cash equivalents. Mo to akong pakita ganiha. First line item as cash and cash equivalents. Okay? So, unsa man ni siya? Investment of excess cash. Okay. So, the control and proper use of cash is an important aspect of cash management. Basically, the entity must maintain sufficient cash for use in current operations. So, kaniklas ha, in a business, especially kung business-minded yung kay ka, no, you don't want your cash to be idle, no? 'Di ba? Kanang mga assets nato sa business. That's why they are called assets in the business. Kay maghatag siya nato og income, no? Kada asset sa business na jud nay lihokon, accounts receivable, no? Manil taw to for our customers, inventory mo na atong ibaligya, investment nagka-earn siya og interest, no? Atong mga properties, let's say mga machines, mao atong gamit para sa ato ang daily operation. How about cash, no? Isa may gibuhat anang cash. Now, if ang cash, magagamit yun nato siya, mopalita, no? And then, mubayad, and then ipalit na pod nato. Now, of course, what if manobra na jud imong cash? Let's say imong cash kay 100,000 na, pero in your daily operation imong kinahanglan lang is only 20,000. So nagunsa man ang 80,000 dira, no? It is idle, no? So, as an advice, no? Abot diri, an advice, effective cash management, i-invest na lang to nimong 80,000. No? Kaysa naara na siya dira. No? Let's say, ang business, na siya alkansya, ang business, oh. Sunod na sa alkansya sa business, 1 million na. Nagunsa man ang 1 million dira, no? Idle siya. So, much better, i-invest na lang siya, maka-earn pa siya og dividends. Pautang na lang siya, maka-earn pa siya og interest. Okay, that's why nakabutang diri. Excess cash may also be invested in time deposits or money market instruments to earn. Okay? I-donate na lang. Pwede po, no? Pwede po siya i-donate as part of your corporate social responsibility. Okay? So kani guidelines sa katong cash equivalents ha. If 3 months or less, if the term is 3 months or less, cash equivalents na diretsyo, no? Ako na ni siyang gingon ganiha. If more than 3 months, alagi sakto. If more than 3 months, but within 1 year, that investment is classified as short-term financial assets. However, if the term is more than 1 year, such investments are classified as long-term investments. So, balik ta dire. Diba kani, the term is more than 1 year, 3 years good. So, hama na siya isulod sa long
Term.
How about if foreign currency, for a certain cost, purpose is for payment cash 1 year lang kung cash is on June. Where will you classify ang ihang
Years.
Okay, so where are we going to classify our sinking fund?
Long term.
Current.
Sa long-term investment. Okay, long-term investment. So, nilabay na ang panahon. Kuan na, December 31, 2022. So, pila na siya ka-years?
1 year na lang.
Year na lang. Saan na siya?
Long term.
Short term.
Investment.
Long
Pag,
term.
pag 1 year, pwede na nasa current asset. Okay? Pwede na siya sa current asset. Pero, sa current asset. Sa
Non-current asset, ma'am?
ha? Current. Isunod sa current asset. If the purpose is payment of current obligation, then it must be included as part of cash and equivalents. Okay? So, isunod na siya sa cash and cash equivalents. Okay? Cash and cash equivalents. So, kani siya class ha, sa cash fund ni. Katong gani ha, lahi ito sa kato na pa short term, then na 3-month rule, ayaw to i-apply sa cash. Dito to siya sa cash equivalents. Okay? Cash equivalents. Kani cash man sinking fund, cash man na, duha biya, cash or cash equivalents. So either long-term investments or cash and cash equivalents. Gani ha? Cash equivalents, so na 3-month rule. So either long-term or short-term investment or kung nasunod siya sa 3 months, cash equivalent. Pag cash, especially cash fund, either long-term or kung nasunod siya sa 12 months, cash and cash equivalents na diretsyo. Okay, so mas strict ng cash equivalents kay dili man siya cash good, no? Kuan man na siya, investment man na siya. So kani dili kayo strict. Basta within 1 year lang ang purpose considered as part of the cash. Okay? So, daghan pa kayo, no? Is there any pila ang minimum years para mahimong long-term investment, pila ang limit sa short-term investment. Okay. So, if that is within 1 year, butang na lang nato diri ha. Within 1 year. Okay. So, within 1 year. So, nato diri sa dara. More than 3 months, but within 1 year. Okay? So, classified as short-term financial assets or temporary investments. Pero, kung mula pas nag 1 year, let's say 13 months na, so, long-term investments na dayon. Okay? To summarize, ako siyang ibutang diri, no? Kung more than 3 months, but within 1 year, so short-term investment. Okay? Short-term investment. Kaniha sa cash equivalents, ay sa kaani siya, kanini siyang under sa cash equivalents na topic. So more than 3 months, but within 1 year, short-term investment. More than 1 year, long-term investment. So, 3 months or less cash equivalent. Okay? 3 months or less cash equivalent. So, take note ha, pag 3 months pa gani, cash equivalent pa. Mula pas na of 3 months, short-term investment na. Taman, 1 year. Mula pas nag 1 year, long-term investment na. Okay? There is a cash fund. Okay? Kung within 1 year pa, cash and cash equivalents. Kung more than 1 year na, long-term investment. Okay? Ang long-term, origin na siya. Kaya pag long-term asset biya, more than 1 year. So, diri na tap, pag within 1 year, so cash and cash equivalents. Kani, ang within 1 year, sa cash equivalent, depende pa kung 3 months ba or more than 3 months. Okay, so please take note. Dapat lang pangutana. Okay, so bank overdraft. So daghan pa day kay ning theory ang ato ang cash, no? Bank overdraft. So bank overdraft, when the cash in bank account has a credit balance. Unsa man ang bank overdraft? Aside sa definition nga nasa book nga credit balance, what does it mean? Those who have any idea of the bank overdraft, kung wala pa wala pa naka-try o participate. Bank overdraft. Na-over daw. Sabi na na-over of deposit? Anyone?
Kasi na-over o withdraw mo.
Okay, basta na-over.
Negative.
Kasi liability.
Negative balance. So, unsa pa ilaing kuan? Nag-withdraw but zero.
Current liability, ma'am.
Okay, treated daw as current liability. So, class, why is it called cash and bank account as a credit balance? It's because, di ba, the normal balance of cash is debit. So, kung, di ba, kung mag-withdraw ka, i-credit man na nimo. Let's say, ang imong cash in bank, G's na lang. Nag-withdraw pa siya kag 50. No? So, ma-negative balance na siya. Ma-credit balance na siya. And that is now considered as bank overdraft. Now, what is the classification of bank overdraft? Accordingly, it is to be classified as current liability. Okay, and should not be offset against other bank accounts with debit balances. So let's have this as an example. So let's say, na kay cash in bank sa may mga bank dira, BDO, no? Napod kay cash in bank sa, let's say, BPI. Sa BDO, your cash in bank is 100,000. Okay, sa BPI, negative na di ay 10,000. So, how will you classify this in your financial statement? So, ang pangutana sa question, pila nga to ang amount sa cash? Pila nga to ang total cash? So, pila tong total cash?
200.
3,000.
100.
Accordingly,
90.
this one.
No.
A bank so, kani debit ba?
100.
Okay, so dapat 100. Butang
Liability.
example,
$90, ma'am.
90, ma'am.
why 90?
Kung sa first, ma'am, kung i-offset siya, ideally siya pwede i-offset kung different bank, but the same money, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Ay, ang bank, so I hope right over the sector of lahi. Worry, you're not the one who will compensate yan. At I siya, whether that's not legally restricted legally restricted restricted I why are you not So we have undelivered check, post dressing ka na answer ani. They had their answer. So last name ni okay.
Yes.
So yes, it will be included. Checking account 350,000. Cash and money market account.
Include,
Include
ma'am.
sab, ma'am.
Sama ni siya, cash or cash equivalent? Okay, yes, that is cash equivalent. 750. Next, treasury bill purchased November 1, 2016, maturing January 31, 2017.
That, ma'am.
Include, ma'am.
Include.
That's the 3 months pa.
Okay, let us count from November 1 and then December 1, January 1, and then January 31. So that is still 3 months. So, treasury bill na 3-month term, 3,500,000. Okay. And then lastly, time deposit purchased December 1, maturing March 31, 2017. Include
Dili na, ma'am.
Included, ma'am, kay 3 months.
3 months pa kaya siya?
4 months.
Count.
4 months.
Okay, that is 4
months, 31 man day, ma'am.
Yes, so that is 4 months. So from December 1, so January 1, February 1, March 1. And then you didn't stop in March 1. Okay, taman pa man March 31. So March 31, 4 months. Okay, so basin maglibog mo ha, no? Ang kanang giwan ang first, then ang isa kay gi-31. So para di mo maglibog, i-count na lang number of days, no? Pero dugay kaayo. So you have to practice. Okay, counting number of months, no? So, kanilang ulilabot ang time deposit. So, how much is the total cash and cash equivalent? So, we have 350 plus 750 plus 35. That is, okay, so that's correct. That is 4,600,000. Okay, so let's try another one. Number 2. Number 2. Okay, question. What amount should be reported as cash and cash equivalents? Okay, do you have your answer already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige, later na lang, no? Let's answer this together. So first, cash in bank current account. Is this included or not?
Include, ma'am.
Okay, so cash in bank current account, 5 million. Okay, next, cash in bank payroll account.
Include, ma'am.
That is included. Payroll account, that is a cash fund, 1 million. Cash on hand,
Included na.
Loaded, ma'am.
of course, that is included. Okay, so cash in bank, restricted account for building construction expected to be disbursed in 2017.
Included.
Ma'am.
Why?
Included ma'am, 1 year
2016
naman.
man,
Wala
December
siya appeal,
2016.
ma'am.
Included man siya.
Okay, so unsa ang date karon?
December 31, 26.
October 31, 2016.
31, 2016 na.
So what is the purpose of that restriction? Unsay purpose niya? Lantaw na to ang purpose. That is for building construction. Now, where do we classify building? Current or non-current?
Current.
Non-current.
Okay, so non-current. So take note, class, that the purpose of a fund should, the classification of a fund should parallel to its purpose. Okay? So kaganiha, katong bonds payable, nantala to ganiha, ang bonds payable, it was, the purpose is to pay bonds payable that is to be paid 2 years.
Long term.
Cash fund, long term. Katong 1 year na lang, so ang cash fund, short term na po siya, no? Appeal na siya sa cash and cash equivalent. No, kanus aman siya bayaran or kanus aman siya gamiton.
Following
17.
year,
2017.
After 1 year pa.
12 months ma'am.
Okay, so haka na to i-classify atong cash in bank.
Short term.
Ha? Okay, so will the man ang mo follow ang date or ang purpose niya which is for building construction. Ha. No, so lahi siya ang building long term man na. Pero disburse na siya the following year. So within 1 year. Okay. So take note ha. Dito siya sa purpose. So, for building construction, building is long-term. So, the cash in bank should also be long-term. So, class, bahala pag ugma na ka magpa-construct. No? Still, non-current asset gihapon ni siya nga cash in bank. Because the purpose of it is for the construction of a long-term asset. Okay? So, unsa man to ganiha? Okay, so, kung atong i-refer ganiha, katong 2 years pa, long term. Katong 1 year na ang bonds payable, gibutang na sa cash and cash equivalent. Nga naman, because a bonds payable, once 1 year na po dihang maturity, ma-reclassify na po siya as current asset. Okay? Ang bonds payable, pwede siya not current asset, current liability. Ang bonds payable, pwede siya non-current liability, pero kung 1 year na po, mahimo na siyang current liability. Ang building, mahimo ba ng current ang building? Di ba? Dili, no? Building is always a long-term asset. So, if you're going to set aside a fund for the construction of a building, or for the repair of a building, for the expansion of a building, that is always non-current asset. Okay? So, you do not include, no? Walay labot X. Walay labot ang 3 million. So, laylay na siya. Pwede for construction, pwede for expansion of a building. Okay? So, you take note. Bahala pag-ugma na kamo pa-construct, balag mo bayad na kaugma, no? That is still non-current asset. Okay? So lastly, pa di ay, second to the last, time deposit purchase December 15, due March 15, 2017.
Ilon, ma'am.
Okay, pila pa siya ka man?
3 months, ma'am.
Okay, that is 3 months. So, December 15, so we start counting with from January 15, February 15, then March 15. So that is time deposit 2 million. Okay, cash on hand. Okay, so naay problema sa cash on hand. Because the cash on hand included a 200,000 check payable to Pygmalion dated January 15, 2017. Okay, unsa pa karon? December 31, 2016. Unya kay naghawid man siyang check payable to Pygmalion. So siya. So unsay pasabot ani class? Naay customer nga ning bayad sa iya ha. So nakadawat siya og cheque for 200,000. However, the check is post-dated. Okay? 200,000 is post-dated, meaning
Pwede niya ikuan ma include kay January 15 pa 2017 ang date sa check.
okay, so that is still on January 15. Dira pa nimo siya in cash. So, do not include it in our cash on hand. So, sa mahitabo, katong 500,000, makuhaan og 200,000. Okay, so 300,000 na lang ito ang cash in bank. So, may journal entry anak class. Ay nga ni, naapon ni siya sa book ha, but I will discuss it. The moment ganing bayad na si customer, so imagine na i-record, debit cash and credit accounts receivable for the amount of 200,000. Now, at the end of the year, mag-audit man na. No, mag-audit man na. Paglantaw, uy, post-dated check man na ini. So, you have to reverse what you have recorded. So, imbis nga, yung mga pag-record is nakabayad na si customer, pero kay post-dated check mo di ay, then you have to reverse. So, balik ni mo, debit accounts receivable and credit to cash. Okay? So, that's why, katong cash on hand, na naunta to 500,000, gikuha na to ang 200,000. Same with our journal entry, nga nakuhaan siya og 200,000. Okay? So, I guess, wala na ilain nga transaction. So, how much is our total cash and cash equivalents? Same sa ato ang mga answer dira. 5 million plus 1 million plus 300 plus 2 million, that is 8,300,000. Okay, so parehara itong answer. Okay, very good. So, same, 8,300,000. Okay, so there is a question here. Pwede ra di ay. Basta di siya, wala na ko ninabantayan ganyan. B. Cervantes. Do you have any question? Question?
Overdraft na niya gi-ask, ma'am.
Okay. So, overdraft. Alright. So, basta buwan ito overdraft ha. Pwede siya offset if the same bank lang. Dili siya if another bank. Alright. So, stop ta dira because it's already time. And then, we'll just continue by the next meeting. Or maybe I'll be recording video for the discussion of the rest of the topic. Okay, any questions?
Sige, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Galopines.
Yes, ma'am. Mag-send ka o kuan, ma'am, katong mga screenshots nimo atong sa libro.
Yes, mag-send ko. Ako ang i-post ka.
Sige, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so, Miss Lalaine, do you have question?
Ay, ma'am, kanang sa Excel nimo nga kuan ma'am kanang gisulat i-post nimo sa kuan ma'am Google Classroom.
Ako ba siya i-post together with the recording?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so i-post na ako together with the recording para if ever na ay mulan to sa recording, so na-put together ang Excel na file. Okay? So, any other question?
Wala na, ma'am.
Okay, so if there is none, so, dira lang tanong. Next meet, siguro I'll make a recorded video and then please answer your post test. Ha? So, dili kinahanglan nga diretso nag-answer. Pwede hinayon because every week ato ang topic lahi-lahi. So, ang post-test po, tulo po di siya nga topic. So, pwede nga hinahinayin ninyo siya og answer. Okay, so if there are no other questions, thank you class for participating in our today's discussion. See you next week and goodbye
Bye,
everyone.
ma'am. Thank you,
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
Goodbye, ma'am. Thank you.